very important for us to experience success. Now, what I want to do is, I want to show you the shadow match process. I'm going to share my screen, and then we will talk through the process of the shadow match career guidance process. I'm going to share, and Suzanne, is that clear? Good, thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the shadow match process. This is the process that I have designed in terms of, and I'll take you through it. Step number one on the left in the top half of the block is you need to complete the shadow match worksheet. Here it is. This is the worksheet. These are the 70 questions that we use to identify your habits or the patterns that are embedded in the neurons of the brain that actually determines your everyday behavior and your behavioral patterns. The second in the process, the second step in the process is here, number two, sort of top middle, where you get your career report. Obviously, you can either get your career report from a shadow match career coach or a counselor, or you can go to your portal and buy the career report from your portal. That's how you get it. And then number three, and I'll get back to number three just in a minute. Number three is what the important thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to make a visual summary of your report, of your career report. We can automate it, but we don't want to. I don't want to do it. And a lot of people say to me, but you can automate the summary. Yeah, I know I can automate it, but I don't want to. The reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is when we create a visual summary of the content that is applicable to us, to me, a lot of thinking happens. And this is what we must do. We must go through the process of creating a one-page visual summary of our career report, because it's a thinking process. And during that thinking process, we start to discover possibilities in our way forward. And we help a bit with this. Let me show you how we help with this. Once you got your report for 2 days, we send you a template to help you to build this visual summary. And most of you, I hope everybody received their template, and I hope everybody did the summary of their career report. If you haven't done it, ladies and gentlemen, just pay attention to the next few sentences. This is where the thinking happens. When we summarize the content of the report, this is where we activate our innovation, our problem solving, our progressive planning. All these things are being activated when we summarize the content as it is applicable to us. And obviously you can sit with a friend or a coach or a counselor or somebody that takes a positive interest in your life and do that summary, but it's important. Then number four, ladies and gentlemen, sort of the next day, the shadow match system provides you with a career match test function. It sits on your portal. Now, if I say anything that you don't know how to get it and where to get it, please ask in the chat box, and Suzanne and Lisette will help you to find these things. Or you can send, if you want to make a note, and I know you've got a pen with you, or you can send an email with your question to info@shadowmatch.com. info@shadowmatch.com, and we will come back to you with any of the questions that you have in terms of the operational stuff. Where do I get my career match test? So it's been emailed to you, and you can either access it directly from your email, or you can log into your Shadow Match personal portal and access your test, career match test there. What that does is it tests possible careers by matching the characteristics of that job, that career, to your habits. And then it says to you whether this career will work for you or whether there are some stress points in the career. It will never say it won't work for you, but it'll say, maybe you should look at the following points that might become uncomfortable for you. You've got 10 career match tests that the system makes available for you, but don't waste them. You might need them as you progress. So number 1, you do the worksheet. Number 2, you get your career report. Number 3, you do a summary. Number 4, you start to test a few possible careers. But for the adults in our audience, people that are already in a job, in a career, in a business, in some employment at a big corporate, you can use your career match test functionality to test what frustrates you in your current job. So it's a very nice application in the hand of the user to assess specific aspects of the current situation, the current business, job or career that I'm in. And that might be at a dead end, or you might be frustrated with it. And this is obviously a very good opportunity to decide whether you should carry on with it, deal with the frustrations, or redirect your career. Then number 5, and this is where we are this evening. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a 3 to 5 year career plan. I'm going to show you how to do it. You'll get the video, and I'm going to say a few things that I will use to try and motivate you to really do it. And there are other information points, and if you listen carefully and you re-listen to the video and re-watch the video, you might pick up some of the things that I say that are sort of under the headline, but that might be important. Try to catch the detail of the discussion that I have with you tonight. So number 5, ladies and gentlemen, after obviously 1, 2, 3, and 4 has been done, number 5 is we must now compile a career plan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely frustrated with coaching processes that do not end with a tangible, makeable, possible, practical plan. It must be a tangible, makeable, possible, practical plan. In other words, there's an idea amongst people, ladies and gentlemen, and the more I think about this and the more I engage people, because I like to be in the thick of things, so I do a lot of coaching as well, personally myself. But there's an idea amongst people that I can think myself into a better position. Where does this come from? I can think myself into a successful career, or I can think myself out of problems, or I can think myself, I must change my thinking and my life will change. It might probably, there's truth in it. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got to act. We've got to do it. We've got to come to a point where we do it. I'm going to give you an example tonight of a lady it's a practical case study that's been unhappy in her career for 9 years. And for 9 years, she has been thinking about, I must change my life. Nothing happened because she did nothing. She thought about it. She has been thinking about it for 9 years. So I'm a bit strangled in this thing that we don't think ourselves into a better position. We work ourselves in a better position. Let me introduce you to Willie. Willie, ladies and gentlemen, is a student. He ended high school and he did his Shadow Match career report and he discovered a few things. And if you look at your career report, you will see there are your place in industry 4. What is the workspace that will be optimal for you in the future of the world, in an industry 4 world where things are being automated and smart systems do things that we previously did as humans. And Willie discovered that in his career report, chapter number 2, he has to work with ideas. In chapter number 3, ladies and gentlemen, he discovered that the work that he must do must be really slightly on the dynamic side. He also discovered that it must be quite complicated, it must be intricate, and it must be sort of conceptually stimulating and challenging. And then amongst the career tips, ladies and gentlemen, he discovered something very interesting. Willie discovered that his strongest career tip was related to the fact that he has a very strong ability to deal with conflict. And then Willie said to himself, if I want to work with ideas and I want to work with complicated content in a relatively dynamic environment, and I'm not afraid of conflict, in fact, a conflict situation can help and stimulate and energize me. I want to become a lawyer. And when he made the decision, he was certain about it. He said, this is what I want to be. I want to become a lawyer. Good. Fantastic. Well done. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And he tested the lawyer and it sat well with his habits and he decided, this is what I want to be. He's motivated and he's positive. One thing, outstanding, the plan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, then when Willie started to discover the plan, he realized, this is not so easy, because I will have to go to university and study 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Then I've got to do my internship. It could be in some countries 1 year. It could be in other countries 18 months, in some countries 2 years. And then I can register as a professional lawyer. So from leaving high school, I'm 5, 6 years away. Good. So step 1 of my career plan is in place. And that is, I must identify the steps that are necessary for me to become a lawyer. So Willie then decided, but let me put the career plan together. Year 1. Year 1 is I need to go to university and I need to successfully complete my first year of academic studies. I must tick this block. It is the ticket to the match. I cannot proceed on my path to become a lawyer if I don't tick this box, and I'm not going to tick this box by chewing bubblegum. I will have to tick this box by means of hard work. Then if I completed my first year of study, my second goal is to complete my second year at university and make sure that I get all my subjects signed off and I can tick that box. The third year will be that I will still be at university. It will still be academic work and I have to tick the academic year number 3 off. But then things change. Now the game changes, ladies and gentlemen, and Willie spoke to a few young lawyers and they said to him, Willie, careful for year number 4. Because you can end up with year number 4 without an internship for your registration as a lawyer one day. And then you can be on hold for 6, 7, 8 months looking for an internship. So Willie, year number 4 is a crisis. You've got to make sure that in order to reach your goal, the goal is to now successfully complete your degree. You must, Willie, you must get your degree in the 4th year. If not, you've got to extend your plans with a year. You must complete your degree and start applying for internship. Willie, you must listen to us. You must start applying for internship middle year number 4. Make it part of your 5-year career plan. Right. Once that is being signed off, I start my internship. And at the end of my internship, I must complete the exams. I must complete the practical part of the internship. And at the end of this 5-year career plan, I can now register and become Willie the lawyer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that Willie plotted this path gives him a very clear understanding of what is expected of him. It gives him a clear understanding of goals that he needs to meet. In other words, this, ladies and gentlemen, just to come back to this is a project. It's a project, it's a 5-year career project, and Willie is the project manager. And it's what we call a stage gate project, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of year one, there's a gate. At that gate, Willie must wait and say, did I pass all my subjects? Did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? Yes, I've done it. Now I move on. So this is a standard stage gate project. And Willie is the project owner and the project manager. And his parents might be the project sponsors. So, but that on the sideline. So now, ladies and gentlemen, Willie has a very clear picture of what lies in front of him. He's got a goal. He's got a career path. He's got the steps. He's got the gates. He's got the content. He's got his career plan. Willie is now as ready as one can be to start the next 5 years of a successful career path. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously what you say is, Peter, this is very easy for a young person leaving school to become a lawyer. This is easy. What about adults? What about people in their mid-30s, 40s? I'm working with people in their 60s, ladies and gentlemen, replanning their careers because they realized that their savings will not carry them for the next 25 years. And once they realize that, they need coaching, because the world has changed, ladies and gentlemen, and the health of the individual could probably last for another 25 or 35 years. If we look at the progress in medicine and in the treatment of diseases, all of us around this Zoom webinar can become 100 plus. And the question that we need to ask is, if I retire at 60, I've been working for 40 years, maybe 35. It's impossible to save in 35 years' time enough money to sustain your lifestyle for another 35. It's impossible. So it could be, and obviously, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very valid question to ask me, but Peter, what about adults that are in a situation where they've been retrenched? The business that they worked for collapsed as a result of the virus. We need to replan. And the sooner we identify a goal and the steps we need to take towards that goal, ladies and gentlemen, the better. I'm going to introduce you to Maggie. Obviously, this is not her real name, ladies and gentlemen, and as you see, it's not the real picture. Might be close. Let me share with you Maggie's story. I've changed it a little bit, because I don't want, obviously, I'm very, the private information of people is private. Maggie worked for a large organization, a very big one, in financials, in financial institutions. Maggie is 42 years old. Since about 33, it could even be late 20s, Maggie was doing the job. She was in a job as a financial data trend analyst. She qualified. She's got fancy qualifications and degrees in maths, and she has postgraduate qualifications in mathematics and financials. But Maggie hated. She said in a discussion that when I drive to work, I cry. And when I drive home, I cry again. When I drive to work, I cry because I don't have the energy to face the day. And when I drive home, I cry because I realized that this day had the upper hand on me again. And the weekends was spent sleeping. She couldn't do something positive because, in her words, well, she said to me, you know, the best day of the week is Thursday because it's the closest to the weekend and the furthest away from Monday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we can't live like that. This is big trouble. Let me share with you what is a healthy individual. If we want to know what are the building blocks of an emotionally and psychologically healthy person, 4 things must be in place. 1, my relationships must work. 90% plus of my relationships must be positive, good, healthy, and fulfilling. I must find joy in the relationships that I have with the people close to me. My relationships must work. Second, the place where I live, my house, must be the place where I like to be. I enjoy it. I love it. It's accommodating for me. It's friendly towards me. It gives me the space that I can enjoy. Number 3, my physical body and my health must be in a good shape. People that are unhealthy, ladies and gentlemen, struggle to get themselves above the fulfillment life. And I understand it, and I have great empathy with people who struggle with their physical health. And we can see now with this virus pandemic how a threat to our physical health is actually a major experience of hostility in this world. So that's number 3. Number 4, my career must work. If my career doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen, and I do not have a high level of fulfillment in my job, in my career, in my progressive production of value in the economy of this world, and I'm rewarded for it in a fair manner, if that pillar, that 4th pillar, is not in place, either emotionally, intellectually, in the psychology of the individual, in the practical side of the individual in terms of financial rewards and a future and progress and stability and sustainability and all those things, ladies and gentlemen, then my place where I live is under threat, my health is under threat, and my relationships are under threat. So this 4th pillar is absolutely important. And now back to Maggie. Maggie was unhappy with every moment in the job. But then Maggie did her shadow match worksheet. She answered the questions very honestly, and she got a career report. And she read the career report, ladies and gentlemen, and she discovered something. First, when she did the career match test, she found that the list of frustrations in her current job is endless, and her match to the current job is 18%, 1/8, less than 20%. And she then realized, but I cannot do this for the rest of my life. And if I don't do something, and I've been thinking about something else for 9 years now, and then the coach said to her, Maggie, if you don't do something, in 10 years' time, you will still be where you are now. Unhappy, unhealthy, unfit, and. So if you want to think about doing something else for another 9 years, then you're 50, my darling, and then in another 10 years, you're 60. So then you've been unhappy for your life. Maggie discovered something, ladies and gentlemen. She discovered that she must work with objects in a dynamic environment where there's quite a high level of innovation, not too complex, not too complicated. That's one of the things that frustrated her work. The data analysis work was just stretching her conceptual fitness beyond what she enjoyed. But then in bold, ladies and gentlemen, the first word, second line in the arrow, Maggie discovered something fascinating. The report emphasized the fact that Maggie must work in an artistic environment. And when she saw it, she said, this is missing in my life. She immediately realized that without knowing it, she selected answers in the worksheet that was consistently related to an artistic engagement and behavior with her environment. The work must be very practical. That's not what she's now doing. It must be individualistic. In other words, she must rather work alone than as part of a team, and where high levels of self-confidence is needed. That's what Maggie discovered. And she then said to the coach, I can't carry on with this. I've got to. And then they start to ask a few questions. What do we have as possibilities? And then something very weird happened, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that Maggie and her career coach discovered that there is something that Maggie can do, but it's a 3-year project. Maggie decided, after about a month of coaching and discussions and talk to family and friends, talk to her husband, discuss the situation, she decided, what I want to do that will be in line with my career report is I want to have a garden shop, but a specific one for people living in an apartment. It must be small. It must be myself and maximum another one person. It must be a shop in an area where there are lots of apartments. And I want to specialize in providing a garden service in terms of design, layout, and for people specifically living in apartments. And then when she had the goal, step 1, I have my goal, and it's the 3-year plan. But Maggie became a bit obsessed, and she said, this is not 3 years. I want to do this as maximum 3 years. Step 1, I need planning and training. Remember, she's in a financial environment where she does data analysis and trend identification. She decided that she must have planning and training for the first year. For 1 year, she's going to spend time on planning and training for her garden shop. She needs to create a proper business plan, do a part-time training course in business management, and try to make that part of her everyday knowledge, how to manage a business, especially a smaller business. In year 2, or the next phase, get all the financials in place, finalize the practical aspects, where, who, clients, etc., get the operational plan in place. And this is post when I have done all the necessary learning of skills and then number 3 on the list, ladies and gentlemen, is Maggie decided she will resign when ready and start working at a place that has got a footprint in either agriculture or in gardening or in landscaping or something like that. And she wants to start working there on the floor so that she can learn the ropes. And that was her plan. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Maggie took the template that our office emailed to you. If you haven't got it, let us have your email address and you will get a copy of this document. It's a career plan document. Maybe you've got it in your hand and you can print it again and again and again and start making notes. This is the career report and the 5-year career plan for Maggie. So there are a few examples, and then just where the top end of the pen starts, ladies and gentlemen, on your picture there, my 5-year career goal is, and Maggie said, I want to have a garden shop for apartment people. That's my goal. Now she's got the goal. And now in the template, ladies and gentlemen, there's a little bit of a description there. And it says, what skills, Maggie, do you need to learn to fulfill that goal? I need to learn about plant care, pot plants, and garden design, small gardens. Remember, she's specific. I need to learn about garden design, specifically small gardens, because my goal is to have a garden shop for people living in apartments. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what knowledge do I need? What do I need to know? Not so much on a practical level. I need to understand business management. I need to do a course in business management. I need to understand marketing, and I need to understand the tax situation, because Maggie discovered that her knowledge of the tax legislation in South Africa as it applies to small businesses is something that she knows very little about. Next page for Maggie. Where should Maggie work in year 1? stay in your current job, Maggie. Stay there. Stay. That's the word. Stay. So I'm not going to find another job. What I'm going to do is I'm going to learn the skills of plant care. How? Self-learning. I'm going to learn about pot plants. Self-learning. I'm going to do a garden design skills course through Udemy in gardening. That's an online college. That's the plan. So for the next year, these are the skills that I need to learn. Then from a more knowledge framework, knowledge necessary that I need for my goal. I need to do a course in business management, and I have a personal coach that will take me through that. I need to learn marketing, and I'm going to sign up during this year at the same college for a social media marketing course, and I'm going to sign it off. And then I need to learn about tax. I'm in a business where there are lots of tax consultants, and I'm going to get a personal coach to teach me the ropes in terms of taxation and a small business. And then Maggie was adamant to say, this all must be done in 1 year. I must do it. Can you pick up the vibe from Maggie? She's now on a roll. She wants this to be done. Then in year 2, ladies and gentlemen, just there behind the page, year 2, resign. That's my target. I'm now at a gate, in a stage gate project. I need to now, at the end of year 1, resign. Then I need to find a job as a generalist at a gardening or a related business. And she discovered a big business, ladies and gentlemen, Universal Gardens. And she said, in year 2, I want to work for them until I have all the tricks of the trade. I've learned that. So that's step 2 for Maggie and her career path is I need to work on the floor in a gardening business, in a garden related business. So what's the plan? The plan, the skills to learn, ladies and gentlemen, is the business. I need to work for Universal Gardens. In other words, I need to learn skills about the trade by working for this company. I need to then, the practicality of plants, I have 1 year to learn that if I can get a job with these people. Now what I need, the knowledge is the needs of customers. I'm going to do it at Universal Gardens. Customer care, how do you give optimal customer care to these customers? I'm going to learn it while I work for Universal Gardens. Stock control, what is the lifetime of plants? When do I order? What size should they be? Those tricky things, the detail, I'm going to learn it whilst working for these people, for Universal Garden. And then try to make contact with Universal Gardens during September of 2021. I want you to see how specific Maggie is with her goal setting. She must start making contact with Universal Gardens in September 2021. It's a year and two months away, 3 months, 2 months away from now. Then make sure to get a job by January 2022. So it's given her 18 months to play with to find the job at the garden shop. And then obviously the date, no, 2021, sorry. And then the learning the ropes open on 1 March 2022. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the process. Once we are here and we have compiled our career plan, then we have a career path that is practical, it's feasible, it's makeable, and it's something that I own. And whether you are leaving school, leaving university, and you're not sure, you've got an open degree, let's say in finance or in law, you're not sure where to go, you need to compile the career plan. And this is the process. We do shadow match, get the career report, we do the summary, we do a few tests, and we then compile our career plan. Now this process, ladies and gentlemen, needs 4 sessions with a coach. It's a 4-session coaching process. Now, what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is remember these dates. It is for free. You must have your career plan, your career report, and on these dates, at the times as it's been there on each line, 27 July, we will do a career power hour to work through your report, so you have a solid, good picture of your career report. So that'll take us an hour. I'll go through my report, and if you sign up for these 4 days, remember it's for free. You need your career report. When you sign up for these 4 days at 7 o'clock standard South African time, the evening 7 p.m. standard SA time, we will do a career power hour, and I will take you through my report, and that will help you to go through your report every step so that you have a complete full picture of your report. On the next evening, the 28th of July, same time, we will do for 30, this is only 30 minutes. We will do the summary. I will show you how to do a visual summary of your career report. And that'll only be a 7 to 7:30 p.m. standard SA time. On 29 July, I will show you how to optimally use your career match testing, 30 minutes, so that you test specific careers as they relate back to your habits and your behavioral patterns. On 30 July, that will be the Thursday evening, 1 hour, 7 p.m. Standard South African time. Then we do your career plan. And then I will take you step by step through what we have done tonight in terms of a high level, just what is the process, and to leave you now to do it yourself. What I will do is I will on that evening take you step by step through the process of designing a 3 to 5 year career plan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these 4 sessions, I will facilitate them. These will be in the form of a webinar that I will run. It'll be for free, but there is good and bad news. It'll probably, and please emphasize the word if you watch this video again, it will probably be the only one that I facilitate for free. So if you want to sign up, you must sign up for it. If you want friends, family, and colleagues or whoever to sign up for it, sign up. Make it known. It'll be 4 evenings, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour. It'll be for free, and we can take a lot of people. If you struggle post the 30th of July, then send an email to coaching@shadowmatch.com. I will then either personally make an appointment with you to see how we can make an arrangement going forward, so that I can, on a one-on-one level, help you to compile your final career plan, or I will introduce you to one of our professional coaches that is an accredited Shadow Match coach. So, but the email is coaching@shadowmatch.com. Remember these 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. It is for free, and I will help you to go through the detail of your report, and I will be available every evening post the 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 1 hour for as long as it takes to answer your questions. If you want to ask the questions in the public forum, you're more than welcome. If you want to ask it privately, I won't mention your name. I will answer it in the public forum. I will be available to take you through the process to compile a proper career plan going forward as one of the 4 pillars of a healthy and a happy individual. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we came to the end of our career plan structure, how we put it together. Thank you very much for attending. I am more than happy to answer questions, and let's go back to Suzanne and Lizette and hear whether there are questions that they want answered. Let's talk. Suzanne, talk to me.
Thanks, Peter. The comments in the chat were very positive. People experiencing very practical value in it. I've changed the settings, so any participant is now welcome to unmute themselves. It's something you can do on your own setting at the bottom of the screen. So if there's anybody that has a specific question, you're more than welcome to either put up your hand and ask it verbally or send it in the chat. Let's just see if there's anything. They're saying thank you for the coaching opportunity. They're very glad that you can present it. And yeah, I think that's a very good opportunity not to be missed. And as you said, it's a free opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity and then you regret it afterwards. Yeah, otherwise, no other questions in the chat. Yes,
there we go.
Yeah, maybe I can just add, Peter, that we have a couple of webinars coming up. On the 2nd of July, we have a webinar for parents specifically. So for parents to do and help their child with career guidance. And on the 7th of July, we have a webinar for students and high school kids to help them to plan their own career and decide what to study and how to choose a job in this new world of technology and Industry 4. And then on the 9th of July, we have a webinar for people that have taken a gap year and they don't know what should I do after my gap year. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this now is these are all before the dates that you've given. So if the people want to attend these webinars to get some information so that they are more equipped when they attend the 4 coaching sessions, I think that's a good idea. We will obviously communicate these dates via email as well as advertisements on social media. They will all be in the form of a webinar and you will go through the same booking process. So because we've got you on the list, you will get the communication from us. If we haven't got you on the list, please make sure that you send us your email so that we make sure that you also get notified of these webinars. I just think it's important to mention the dates. They are all before your coaching sessions, and that will help people to get a bit more information before they then, for example, attend these coaching sessions, because it's not just for people in jobs. These 4 coaching sessions that Peter will do, they are also very apt for students and high school kids deciding on a 5-year plan. So that's all my comments, Suzanne.
Peter, I see 2 questions have come in. Is there something you want to address before we start with the question?
I will make it part of the answer.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first question came from Eloise. She asked, is it possible to test specific careers in a certain sector?
Yes. Yes, it is possible. Just be careful. When you do the career match test, just make sure that you have a very good idea of what this job and this career is about. Because sometimes we think that a dentist works with people. Dentists don't work with people. They work with teeth. They don't work with people. The people can't talk back and they cannot discuss and they cannot have an engagement with the people. They work with teeth. They work with objects. So sometimes we just miss the point. Just make sure that you have a good understanding of the job that you test. And then obviously you can test a specific job, a specific career in a specific industry. Yeah.
Perfect. And then a second question also from Eloise. It's relating to the webinars that are coming up. She asked, would it be useful for parents to attend the parent webinar if their kids are under the age of 10?
Yeah. Lizette, when is our parents one? On Thursday?
Yes, that's correct. It is on Thursday, the 2nd of July at 7. So if you haven't received any information, please just drop us an email and we can send you the link to book your seat, 100%.
Suzanne, this is exactly the question where I don't need to take the gap to say the things that I want to say about parents. Ladies and gentlemen, the crisis that we have in the career decision-making process of younger people and older people, the sort of your mid-30s and up to mid-40s as well, is that the decision is being taken when the crisis is at the front door. So high school is high school, and we enjoy high school, and this is nice, and we have a final year farewell, and we've got all these things, and then suddenly I realized, but what next year? And then all possibilities of I need to take a gap year and I need to take this. So the career investment in the life of a young people must at least start at the age of 10, 11, 12. And it's very important for parents to understand what is the optimal way of creating an awareness with a child that in future there's a big decision to be made. And it is probably one of the biggest decisions that we make, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a critical decision. But then in terms of parenting and career guiding parents, it's a very complicated situation for parents to be in, because you need to change your role from a parent to a coach. And that role change is not always acceptable for a teenager. And there's an overload of information and an underload of information. So on Thursday, I will take the parents through the complexities of this process. And again, I promise you, I will give you the most practical guidelines that you can, well, that I can give. And my life is to be practical, ladies and gentlemen. I want things to be practical. So I will give you the most practical guidelines to help your teenage and younger children to create within their thinking a mindset of career planning and career decision making. So it's quite an important a webinar for parents. And obviously then the dates at the end of July will be where they can have their seats and participate in an active program that I will facilitate to help them design their future careers. I hope I've answered the question in full.
Perfect. Thanks, Peter. I think, Eloise, you can just chat if you have any more questions there. Then just to address a quick comment from Shona. Thank you so much, Shona. She referred to these sessions that it's such a tremendous value to add to the people you care about. So please remember to extend the invitation to anybody in your network, your family, your colleagues, your friends, that they don't miss this opportunity. Okay, then a question from Karen. Let me just see. Does one's career report change with time or experience in work?
Yeah, this is for all the professional career coaches around the webinar table tonight. This is a very, very tough question. Our habits are relatively stubborn. They don't change without reason. So they change because we change our behavioral patterns, or there's a trauma or a crisis in our lives, or we are forced and into a new pattern of behavior, and then the brain learns new habits. So as we progress and our habits adapt to working conditions and changing conditions in the world, our career report content will change. And that is why I think that we must work with a 3 to 5 year career plan and then reassess, then rethink, is this career still viable? Is there a future in this? We live in industry 4 where things are being automated. Careers need new skills, new knowledge, new abilities, and we need to replan. Suddenly we've seen how this coronavirus crisis have impacted the world of work. People have to learn new skills, social media marketing, webinars, engagement with people, and coaching via the web. So suddenly new things came into our lives, and then we need to reassess. So yes, I think between 3 to 5 years, we need to take a complete stop and say, where am I and where am I going? Redo Shadow Match, have a look at the changes in your habits, request the career report again, and go through the process again. And this is what I want to do. I want to teach people the process so that they can do it as individuals in the future.
Thanks, Peter. I see the participants are finding this very interesting. A few questions stemming from this. The first one from Deirdre, she says, how will the career results be impacted when there is an increase or decrease in few of the habits, either due to trauma or personal development? So in other words, how big should the change in the habit be for it to have an impact on my personal career?
Yeah, I'm on the one side very impressed with the quality and the high content of the question, but on the other side also frustrated with it because I have limited time to answer. Let me explain. Remember, sometimes our habits are borderline habits. So we are on the borderline of either being a contextual people habit or a strong habit. Let's say I'm on 52 points with my people habits, my team inclination, altruism, and my attitude category 1. All sits on just above 50 points. We regard that as a strong habit. I then get a recommendation in my career report that I should focus on working with people. But then I have a trauma. I go through a divorce. And suddenly those people habits fall below 50. And then my ideas habits move a bit up because I've got to engage new things in my new life as a single person. And then it switches. So it could be that I'm on a borderline between ideas and people, and an event can just switch them around. But for the majority of, it could be a swing of a few points, 3, 4 points on your habits could swing it. But in the majority of instances, there must be quite substantial changes in the habit to change the career report, because the career report, the algorithms that run the career report are directly related to the questions, but it also relates to benchmarks that we have created in specific industry, but it also relates to combinations of habits. So we take all the people habits and all the task habits and all the ideas habits and we put them together. So the algorithms are very complex, but normally your career report needs substantial changes in the habits before the career report will radically change.
Perfect. Thanks, Peter. Another question stemming from this. Thank you, Carla, for the interesting question here. She asks, could we say in response to the previous questions that our habits don't necessarily change, but we may wish to change direction or industry as our interests and experiences change, but we will look for something that still engages our strongest habits? She asks, does this apply?
Yeah, it does. Carla is a very dear friend of Lizette and I. She lives in New Jersey, in New York, where the virus is on a wild run. Carla, it's a good question. Just be careful, Carla. Interests, I know there's an interest questionnaire that is being widely used to determine a career. I have a few questions about it. I think it's valid. I think it's valuable. I think it's wonderful. The problem is there are some people with such a wide range of active interests in their world that an analysis of their interests don't really give a specific direction. And then there are some people with such passive interest in their world that you can, on either way, not get a solid indicator. But yes, these things do indicate. But there's another thing, Carla, that you must remember, and that is the changing world around us has a bigger impact. That is my biggest concern, is that as the world changes around us with the development of Industry 4, automation, new skills that must be learned, new careers that emerges, and careers that will dwindle away and become much more passive, and people are stuck in that. So the thing that I'm very aware of is the agility of the individual to redirect and to, in every stage, reposition and say, where am I now? Let me have a look at my habits. Let's test a few possibilities and let's reassess the situation. We can no longer work with, I start working at this big company at the age of 18 and I retire 60 and I live for 25 years happily and then I die. It doesn't work anymore. But your question is, the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think we're aligned on that. I think part of what I was thinking about in terms of experiences is everything we experience, not only outside in, but inside out. And that, yes, our evolving and, our operating environment is evolving, so we have to evolve too, still looking to the career report, our strongest habits to place us where we would need to go or want to go. So as we have our experiences in our careers and life, et cetera, we may decide, gee, I've been in this industry for a while. Now I want to take these strongest habits and put them over here. Yeah. So it's really you know, yes, you're going to go through experiences. They're going to leave their mark on you. You're going to see things happening. You're going to want to stay relevant. You're going to want to stay up. And at the same time, use this information and awareness of your strongest habits and ask the question, how do I move into that space, still leveraging my strongest habits? Is that valid?
Just a comment, Carla. The career report has got very strong recommendations based on our soft habits, because we must be as aware of our soft habits that we don't take up a career that hammers us on our soft habits, because that is as big a problem. So the career report takes serious cognizance of our soft and our strong habits, and it's something that we must just incorporate into our thinking. Suzanne?
Peter, there's a last question from Zanti. She asks, will you be talking on study methods during the parents and the learners sessions? So will you touch on study methods as well, or will that be a separate webinar in the future?
It'll be a separate webinar in the future, but I will talk about it for 3 minutes on Thursday evening, because she asked just a 1-minute comment. I'm convinced that I have discovered something that I think we all know, but I didn't know it, and that's why it makes me feel stupid to say it, that I've discovered it. It makes me feel like an idiot, because I know you all know it, and I'm going to say it knowing that you all know it, but I didn't know it. We take maths and bookkeeping and language lessons, extra lessons in school, ladies and gentlemen, because we struggle with those subjects. And I have discovered that it is not always a struggle with a subject, it's a struggle with a study method. The student battles with a study method, and the subject does not accommodate the study method that the student uses, and then the student believes that I'm struggling with maths. I'm not convinced about that. I think it's a method problem, but I will address it on Thursday evening.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Peter. I think I see the time is, we've now reached the end of this session. So I'd just like to highlight a quick last comment. If you look in the chat, you'll see Vernay, one of our Shadow Match team members. She asked, she's very interested to hear what drew you to tonight's session. So if you are willing, please just post in the chat, what was the reason for you attending? Are you still employed or frustrated? Are you looking for a change? Are you worried about how COVID is affecting the uncertainty of the roles? Or are you just looking for options for pre-retirement? You're welcome to please post your comment in the chat, and then we'll give that valuable information to her. I think then from our side, we would like to thank you for attending tonight's session. It was great to have all of you here. We will be sending through the recording, and then we look forward to seeing you in a future session. We'll be sharing those dates with you. If you have any further questions, you're more than welcome to still stay in the session, and then we'll address your questions. But for the majority of you, you must have a good evening or a good day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions in the chat. Let's see. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat coming in. Thank you for those that are posting the reason for attending.
Susanne, you'll be able to download the chat afterwards as well, because we can maybe share some of those just in an email to everyone, you know, without names, so that people just see, because it's quite, some of them have dropped off, but it's quite interesting to see why people are planning a career.
Yes, very interesting. Thank you, Renee, for asking the question.
Well, we need to plan a career because it's one of the 4 pillars of a healthy life.
Guy. Okay, thanks.
If I can ask
I don't know if you're seeing any questions on your side that I perhaps have missed. I'm only seeing comments.
I think somebody's asking a question. Is it
Sorry,
Streeders?
Hi.
Honest.
Yes, it's me.
Hi, Fawners, welcome back. We're glad to see you in the next session.
Yeah, I'm staying along. My question is regarding the next couple of seminars we're having earlier this month. I do archery coaching. So I teach high school and primary school kids to do archery, but I was in ministry for 10 years prior to that. So developing kids and helping them discover where they need to be going or what their passions are is very important to me. What I want to also ask is with the adults or the parents meeting for help guiding their children, will that be okay if people like me join as well?
Yeah, of course. Of course, because if you engage the child, you engage the parents as well. You cannot engage the one with, unless there are no parents and the child is obviously orphan. But if you engage the child, you engage the parents. There's no way about it. So it will be of huge value to understand the broad principles of child coaching or teenage coaching from people that are very closely related to them, because you must remember it's normal for a teenager to have a bit of a resistance against parents coaching and telling them. They are in a phase of their lives where the self-decision making process is up front in their psychology, and it's important for us to understand how to bypass those sort of gates to get the teenager to understand that this is a process, and we can all learn from the process and we can grow with it. So it will be of huge value for you.
Yeah, because I'm just busy translating just in my head kind of the habits, or not, well, the habits that you have and how that would practically, how you can kind of identify that in the student without them necessarily doing the course, and maybe guiding them towards something like this in the future. And like you said, a young person doesn't necessarily want to listen to his parents or her parents, and having someone else just on a relational base influencing them into that direction might help as well.
Yeah, remember you play the role as an adult figure, and that is very closely related to a parent figure. It's not a biological thing, but it's a psychological thing. So, and any adult who gains the respect of a teenager plays a sort of a parental or a parent type role in the life of a teenager. And this could even carry on up till the age of about 22, 23. It all depends on the teenager. And that's why coaching is such an important part of their lives. But yeah, I think you are at the right place if you join us on Thursday evening.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bonus. You sent a thumbs up, so thanks for addressing this question. To ask from your side?